two right there.
With just
trying to survive.
Tenshin Nasukawa doesn't fight like most kickboxers,
But those ropes might have just held him up there.
because while others wait to set up punches, his game plan is to land kicks fast, hard, and from strange positions. Today, we're breaking down the moments where Tenshin used kicks to knock opponents out in ways no one expected.
with just 90 seconds.
1. The spinning back kick that shocked the world versus Wanchalong 2016. In 2016, an 18-year-old Tenshin Nasukawa stepped into the ring against seasoned Muay Thai champion Wanchalong PK Saenchai. For the audience, it was a no-brainer that Tenshin is going to have a tough time, especially if he is going against a fighter who had built his career on pressure, toughness, and traditional fundamentals.
So fast with those kicks. Wanchalong firing back, but
However, what unfolded was not something anyone expected. From the opening exchanges, Tenshin was unusually calm. Wanchalong tried to walk him down, expecting exchanges instead. He ran into something he couldn't read.
anything he wants. Looking for a high knee there. They both end up on the mat.
Mid-exchange, Tenshin pivoted, turned his back for just a fraction of a second, and unleashed a spinning back kick that landed directly to Wanchalong's midsection. The impact folded him instantly, like someone had shut off the power to his body. He collapsed to the canvas, gasping for air, unable to rise. This wasn't luck. This was Kyokushin philosophy in action.
Spinning kick there from Tenshin Nasukawa.
Basically, Tenshin had waited and exploded the moment the opening appeared. The knockout went viral immediately, cementing Tenshin's reputation as a fighter who could end elite opponents with techniques most fighters wouldn't dare attempt in real competition. 2. The rolling thunder that felt like an anime scene versus Yusaku Nakamura, 2018. In 2018, Tenshin crossed into MMA territory, and instead of dialing things back, he went headfirst without looking back. Facing Yusaku Nakamura, Tenshin delivered one of the most surreal moments ever captured inside a cage. During the first round, with Nakamura advancing and the crowd buzzing, Tenshin suddenly launched into a rolling thunder. A full somersault kick, spinning through the air and crashing his shin into Nakamura's head. The arena erupted instantly. Even fighters cage-side stood up in disbelief. The kick didn't end the fight on the spot, but it shattered momentum. Nakamura was visibly stunned, forced to reset mentally after realizing he was fighting someone who didn't respect conventional limits. From that point on, Tenshin dictated the pace, mixing footwork, feints, and sudden bursts of offense. By the second round, the damage had accumulated. Tenshin's movement broke Nakamura down until a TKO finish followed. 3. The 5-round war that proved he wasn't just Flash versus Rodtang 2018. Later in 2018, Tenshin faced his ultimate test against the relentless Rodtang Jitmuangnon, a fighter nicknamed the Iron Man, for a reason. Why? Simple. Rodtang didn't care about tricks. He marched forward, absorbed damage, and broke people mentally. For 5 rounds, Tenshin was forced to fight under constant pressure. Rodtang walked through strikes, fired back relentlessly, and refused to give Tenshin space to breathe. Every exchange felt like a collision between patience and inevitability. However, despite the pressure from the Iron Man himself, Tenshi's proved that patience and composure can make a difference. He stayed relaxed, slipping shots, landing counters, and choosing moments carefully. Fans pointed out that while Rodtang tried to overwhelm him with volume, Tenshin relied on timing and accuracy. By the final bell, both men were battered, but Tenshin had done enough. He earned a hard-fought split decision in what many still consider one of the greatest kickboxing fights ever. That night silenced critics who thought he was only about flashy finishes. The protagonist had survived the boss battle. 4. The Night Japan Stopped Breathing versus Takeru Sagawa, 2022. In June 2022, Japanese combat sports reached its peak. At the Tokyo Dome, Tenshin Nasukawa faced Takeru Sagawa in what was billed as The Match, the most anticipated domestic fight in Japanese history. The atmosphere felt unreal. Generations of fans packed the stadium. For 5 rounds, Tenshin fought with maturity, restraint, and surgical precision. Takeru pushed forward aggressively, but Tenshin controlled the range, landed cleaner shots, and refused to be drawn into reckless exchanges. When the final decision was announced, Tenshin won by unanimous decision, retiring from kickboxing with a perfect 44-0 record. The torch was passed. Tenshin exited the sport as an undefeated legend. It felt like the final episode of a long-running series. 5. The first boxing knockout that shut doubters up versus Jonathan Rodriguez. On July 20th, 2024, Tenshin faced Jonathan Rodriguez, a world-ranked boxer determined to expose him as just a kickboxer. For 2 rounds, Tenshin boxed patiently, using footwork and timing rather than brute force. Then, in the 3rd round, he found the opening. A sharp combination landed clean, followed by a perfectly placed finishing shot that sent Rodriguez down.
But he was baiting him into right there as an onslaught.
The referee stepped in. It was Tenshin's first official boxing knockout, and it answered a lot of questions very loudly. Power had translated, timing had translated. The protagonist had leveled up again. 6. The flying knee that ended the tournament versus Yuta Hamamoto, 2017. In 2017, Tenshin was still in the process of convincing the world that he wasn't just a prodigy, but a genuine threat to anyone standing in front of him. And he had another chance to prove this. The stage was the Risen Flyweight World Grand Prix. In the semifinals, Tenshin faced Yuta Hamamoto, a tough, aggressive opponent who came in with a clear plan. For most of the fight, it looked like Hamamoto was succeeding.
Staying in that range and can throw back with...
But Tenshin never panicked. As the 2nd round ticked down, with only seconds left on the clock, Hamamoto stepped in one more time, trying to land and steal momentum before the bell. That step was all Tenshin needed. He exploded forward with a flying knee, timed so perfectly it looked pre-scripted. The knee shot straight up the middle and smashed into Hamamoto's face with devastating force.
So I'm just going to try and survive. That's it!
My goodness!
Yeah.
A jumping switch knee! But
The impact stopped him cold, sending him crashing to the canvas as the referee rushed in. The knockout sealed Tenshin's place in the final and became one of the defining highlights of his early career. It showed that his kicks weren't limited to spinning techniques or flashy footwork. It can be lethal enough to knock any opponent out. 7. The cartwheel kick that felt unreal versus Federico Roma, 2019. In 2019, Tenshin Nasukawa walked back into the Rise ring with a very specific weight on his shoulders. This was his first fight after the globally televised exhibition loss to Floyd Mayweather, so it was only understandable that people started doubting. But Tenshin didn't answer any of that with words. He answered it with one of the most absurd knockouts modern kickboxing has ever seen. Facing Italy's Federico Roma, Tenshin spent the early rounds calm and composed, moving lightly, measuring distance, never forcing exchanges.
A firm favorite to win this tournament, one of the toughest kickboxing fights of his career.
Roma tried to pressure him, step into range, and turn it into a conventional fight. But Tenshin never settled into a rhythm his opponent could read. Then, in the third round, it happened. Out of nowhere, Tenshin planted his hands on the canvas and launched into a full cartwheel kick, a Saenchai-style technique so risky that most fighters wouldn't even attempt it in sparring, let alone in a professional fight with momentum on the line. As he rotated through the air, his leg came around perfectly and crashed into Roma's temple. Roma dropped instantly, and the arena exploded. That kick didn't just end the fight.
With just 90 seconds left on the clock, he knocks down.
Most importantly, it sent a message. Tenshin Nasukawa does not fight like everyone else, because he never believed he was supposed to. He fights like someone who always knew the camera was on him, waiting for the finishing move. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment which Tenshin moment you like the most.